If you're like most teachers that I know, your phone is constantly by your side. You got to check the time, you got to set a timer for somebody, you got to email someone because they emailed in the middle of class, you have to talk to parents. The list goes on and on. But since you're already going to have that tool within reaching distance anyway, let's make it even more useful. Today we're going to talk about the Google Classroom app and how it can give you more of your time back. Let's go. Okay, so we're in the Google Classroom app right here, and you can see that I have 7A and B open, my little profile icon at the top, and I still have my 3 lines at the top left where my menu is going to be. When I click the menu, you see that my classes and calendars still show up just like normal. I also have my archived classes here, which is again those classes I put in storage. My classroom folders from here, so that'll take me to the Drive app and I can dig through things in there. My settings, and then the normal like help, privacy policy, terms of service, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at settings. In this menu, I can update my photo. I can sync over cellular data. If I toggle that little button there, I can send email notifications. I can also have class notifications turned off for certain classes. Like if I'm just a support person on a class and I don't really grade anything in there, I could turn off notifications on that one. There's also device notifications, and that'll take you to your device settings menu, so you can decide how often that app gets to notify you about things. So this will show you the settings that I have turned on for the phone. This is my personal phone settings. It's not necessarily the app's settings. So it'll notify me for comments on posts, private comments on work. I highly recommend private comments on work because Google Classroom itself won't show you those private comments. They will appear, but you won't know they're there until you just happen to stumble upon them. I love the app for this because students will ask for help there and I'll get a notification about it. So I know that they need help before I go to grade it when I finally look at the document and they see that I had a question there. That's the biggest draw of why I love this app. Also, students can mention you in a comment by just like putting in your email. This generally only works unless you have a G Suite for Education. So just check and make sure that it does. You also, like I'm also signed up to get invitations to co-teach classes. And then I've turned off late submissions, failed posts, and resubmissions and all that. Just, I don't need to see that there because when I go to the gradebook, it'll show me resubmitted when students will return in something. So then I'll know to go back and grade it. So I don't need a double notification on it. Okay, so let's go back to that main menu and let's go to class settings. When I'm there, I can still have my classes show up and I could turn off one class over the other, whatever I like. Okay, so let's back out of all of those menus and let's go to that 7A class that we've been spending a lot of time in. My stream is the same as always. It shows all of the assignments I've posted. It shows the announcements that I make. I can still make an announcement from here, just like normal. Most of this stays the same. I still have the settings for in the class, about, general. Any changes I make sure you hit save. In the Google Classroom website, your tabs are at the top. In the app, they're at the bottom though. So I'm going to tap the classwork at the bottom and we'll see all of the work. I could filter by topic. So I have week 4 and classwork still. I can open these assignments and see what they look like. Like this slides document will open. I can see the slides in a much smaller version because it's a much smaller screen, but I can still zoom in and work with these things if I need to check a student's work when I'm making a comment to them. I can also look at this quiz and I could open the quiz if I wanted, look at responses from there. I also can open the discussion board that I have, look at the answers, and it'll break it down by student. Okay, so let's look at this people tab down here. So I see me as a teacher and I see me as a student. So when I click on me as a student, this pops up and it's the equivalent of, clicking on a student in the people tab on the website or the student looking at view your work. and it shows me all of the assignments they've done, their scores, what's missing. I can email students at the top. I can still filter by missing, turned in, and returned. So I can hit this mail icon and then it'll bring me to this screen. So it'll, by default, send it to just the student. But if they have a guardian attached, you could send it to student or guardian or both. The most important part, though, is that student work summary at the bottom, because it's a freaking progress report. It's a progress report. It sends everything the student has done and their grades on it and what's missing, and it's just fabulous. So the progress report is 99% perfect. It shows every assignment, it shows their grade on every assignment. It just doesn't tell them their average for some reason. I'm not quite sure. But you could just include that in the message. Like 96%. Typing those 3 characters does not bother me for the simplicity of sending them the entire progress report. So you could just send it from here, send it to both. I've already sent it to some students and parents. I was so excited about it. Oh. All right, I'm gonna calm down a little bit. Calm down. Okay, so we see the progress report here, and you see it's timestamped, so it'll give them a grade as of a certain time. That'll be really helpful if you have difficulties with parents who are like, my kid turned this in. Why is their grade this? Well, because I sent it before they turned it in. It'll also tell them scores, the title of each assignment, the date it was due, all of that jazz. Give you a great starting point to talk to parents about their student and their work. I can also filter by turned in, missing, and returned, just like in the normal website. Okay, so if you're using the Google Classroom app with your primary teaching account, it'll actually send you notifications from Google Classroom about it. So it'll have that Google Classroom icon in that top bar where you get notifications. And it'll be like so-and-so commented on Reflection Week 6 or whatever it is. And then it'll take you to that assignment and it'll show you those things. Mine isn't doing that because this is actually my 3rd account that I have on Google Classroom. So it's like the rest of these are just getting emails. But my normal one does, and it's a lifesaver. Lifesaver for private comments. Another thing to keep in mind is whenever you go to an assignment page, it will have that return button highlighted on top, even if you've already returned the assignment. Just as a disclaimer, don't think you haven't turned it in, it just automatically highlights it. Okay guys, so the last thing I really want to talk about is that set of 4 square boxes in the top right-hand corner. When I click that, it's a student selector. So you've probably heard of the website Wheel of Names. It's the same thing. So it'll just have all of your students up here with their little profile icons, and then you have the 2 options, call later or absent. Absent will just take them out of the queue, call later will reshuffle them. And then at the top, it tells you how many students you've picked, how many are left, etc., etc. It's such a convenient feature to have in the app. All right, guys, that'll cover it for this Google Classroom app. I know you're gonna find it as useful as I do. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button down below and give me a thumbs up. Algorithm likes it and it lets me know how I'm doing. Also, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.